Raw Takes and Company. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Happy Thanksgiving. It's Andrew Hody with you. My buddy Jake Malensic is also with me. Matthias is off this week. Hope everyone's having a fantastic Thanksgiving. We got a lot of sports highlights to get to. Obviously, Turkey Day. We got Turkey Bowls, if you want to call it that. The three big NFL games coming up: Detroit, Green Bay, Kansas City, Dallas. Baltimore, Cincinnati. Is Joe Burrow coming back? We're going to talk all about it here today on Raw Takes and Company and reflect the last week of football as well. And we got some rivalry games in college as well. Oh boy, do we. We got a lot to talk about there too. OH,
IO.
but we'll explain why we're picking Michigan later in the show. Andrew Hody,
That's
it's Jake
great.
Malensic with me. Jake, how are you, my friend?
I am good. I am good. Happy to see you in your turkey hat again.
Yes,
Saw
sir.
you at Walmart in here in my local town. You were wearing that hat, and I said, I can't believe he's wearing that in public. I told you that I couldn't believe you were wearing it in public, to which you
Gobble,
said,
gobble.
oh, don't worry, I'm gonna wear it on the show too. And I said, oh joy. I'm a little upset that Matthias isn't here to see it, but that's okay. He will see it tomorrow when he watches this, well, today when they're watching it, tomorrow for us, he's going to see that you wore that and he's going to undoubtedly text us and say, "Why are you wearing that?" And I live for it.
It's Turkey Day. And listen, I got a classic Dan Marino jersey on right now. So you know what? I'm just thankful for sports. I'm thankful for family. I'm thankful for friends, and I'm thankful for our viewers here at Raw Takes and Company. Social media links, you could find them in the description, but you can also check out our personal socials as you see here on the video as well. All right, we're going to get right to the NFL headlines because we have a ton to get to. We're going to reflect on week 12, though, before we get to some of the new games we have coming up this week. All right, Jake, let's get right to it. All right, you're going to lead the way here for the Cleveland Browns Las Vegas Raiders. Shedeur Sanders making his debut. What do you make of it, Jake? What do you make of it? He got the dub.
Yeah, and first things first, I was the only one who picked the Browns. So shout out to me for believing in my guy and believing in the team. Here's my thing, man. I think we're seeing two sides to his debut, and I think we all probably need to land somewhere in the middle of what everybody's telling me. I'm hearing one, there's some group of people that telling me he's second coming of Bernie Kosar and he's going to save this franchise and he's the greatest quarterback ever. And then I've got some people telling me that he didn't do anything good and he's overrated and blah blah blah. Here's where I land. I thought he was solid. I didn't think he was great, but I didn't think he was bad. And we've been used to, especially this season, pretty much all bad at the quarterback position. There was like a few Joe Flacco moments, and there was like maybe one Dylan Gabriel moment, if that at all. And Shedeur at least gave us like a nice moment on that deep ball to Bond. He didn't, I mean, he turned the ball over once, but he didn't take a lot of sacks. He played probably like a fifth round quarterback, but maybe a tiny bit better. And there's at least some positivity heading forward. And now he has the confidence of being the starter because Kevin named him the starter. Defense is awesome. Myles Garrett's going to break the sack record. I'll let you get your thoughts in, Andrew.
I mean, listen, Shedeur played well for his first start. Not going to take that away from him. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of how he's conducting himself after getting his first win. I'll be completely honest with you, to a degree. I don't think it's been bad all the way. I just think when he said like it's only 1 week of practice. Well,
I
we got
think
San
that was a
Francisco
joke.
next week.
I
Okay,
hope
I'm
that's
just
a joke.
he said this was only 1 week of practice in one of
Yeah.
the later reports. And listen, I think it was pretty harmless overall. I don't think, he meant it to be like a whole, like a cocky attitude kind of thing. But to me, I still think that shows a little bit of attitude. And I think San Francisco is definitely going to be game planning for him. And it's going to be a much better defense than that Raider defense next Sunday. So to me, it's still wait and see with Shedeur. Glad he got the win. Glad the Browns got a win. Myles Garrett, as you mentioned, terrific in this game. Browns defense really terrific in this game. 13 sacks as a whole. And the other thing I also want to say, props to Kevin Stefanski. Had a great game plan in this game. And I know a lot of fans here in Cleveland are criticizing him for how he handled the locker room situation. When Dylan Gabriel got his first win, he didn't get a game ball either. So I wouldn't worry too
I
much.
don't think Shador deserved a game ball, to be perfectly honest with you.
I agree. And Dylan Gabriel really didn't in the game he won either. So I think
No.
we need to relax on that. That's my
Yeah.
opinion.
One other thing
As
for
I said, I
me.
want to. Shedeur played very well, and for his first start, I just want to emphasize that. And congrats to him for being a Browns rookie to win his first start. I do
One
want to emphasize that.
one
Oh,
other thing. Tyson Campbell's awesome.
Tyson
I'm
Campbell is good. Yeah.
and I have some friends who are Jaguars fans, and they've texted me each of the last couple of weeks asking if we want Greg Newsome back. So I feel pretty good about that trade. I just wanted to shout out Tyson Campbell. It's been an awesome addition. Let's
I
move
agree
on.
with that, and it could help the Browns long term as well. So we'll see what takes.
Under contract,
Yes,
playing
he
well.
is.
Shout out to you.
Unlike Greg Newsome, Greg Newsome's now the Jaguars situation, and we'll see how they handle that in the future because it doesn't look like the Jaguars are too happy with him, as we just discussed. All
Yep.
right, next game, Detroit Lions are playing actually on a short week here because of the Thanksgiving tradition. Gobble gobble, as the turkey says here. But this was actually a really good game between them and the New York Giants. I want to give Jameis Winston a lot of props. Obviously, he did have some of those boneheaded picks, but he had one tremendous catch in the game that he caught from Gunner. Was it Oshevsky? I can't.
Oshesky, yes. You
Oshevsky,
nailed it, I
yes.
think.
Garner Oshevsky passing that over to James Winston. That was an incredible play call on the Giants' behalf. To me, this was coaching again. I know Brian Dable's gone, but there were some idiotic play calls, I think, towards the end of the game where New York honestly could have won the game and blew it in the last second. As I said, I think the Giants are showing a lot of potential. They're just not winning games. So they might have a bright future with what they have established here. I think putting in Jameis Winston over Russell Wilson also the right call, and I think Brian Dable should have did that when he was the head coach, and he didn't. I still love Jameis Winston, as you well know, Jake. Obviously, I still think he is just like a high tier backup quarterback. I don't think he's a reliable starter, but I think he did put on a good show, minus some of those boneheaded turnovers. I think he had one only in the game, but still, it was a bad throw, as Jameis Winston typically does. But that one play was terrific. Give the Detroit Lions a lot of credit here, though. Dan Campbell had a great game plan, called a great game. And Jahmyr Gibbs, I mean,
Good things happen when you give
just
him the ball.
he's just terrific. He's possibly, I mean, I don't want to take away from Jonathan Taylor, but Jahmyr Gibbs is right up there with him. And I don't think we're talking about him enough this year, Jake. I want to give you some time.
Yeah, I think you kind of hit all the key points. Resiliency from the Lions in this game was pretty big. Having to battle through. The Giants played them really tough. I mean, look, if you're a defense and you get stiff-armed by the quarterback for a touchdown and come back from that to win the game, that's pretty incredible. Yeah, you hit it on the head, I think, with Gibbs. My biggest thing with the Lions all year is their hesitancy to just let him cook for the whole game because they just don't. They love David Montgomery, and I love David Montgomery too, but he's not Jahmyr Gibbs. This whole we want to give Monty more carries. No, you don't. Just give the ball to Gibbs. He's awesome. And we saw it today. He had 56 fantasy points, and that doesn't even tell you the story of how much he impacted this game. He's their most dangerous weapon, and if they don't start utilizing him more, they're going to have more bad moments where they get down, except they're not going to be playing the Giants, so they might not come back.
Well, they play Green Bay this week. That's going to be a test. That could be for a divisional crown if it comes down to things later on this season. Big game for Detroit. They already lost to Green Bay once. We'll talk about that, of course, though, when we have one sentence, one pick. All right. Jake, the floor is yours. Colts and Chiefs.
All right, here's the thing. The Chiefs dominated this game. Start to finish. I know the score won't tell it, won't say it.
Well, the Colts dominated early.
But like like Colts had like 10 first downs in this game, the whole game. And it was just disaster. The Chiefs are inevitable until they're not. And I got to give Pat Mahomes so much credit. I can't believe Shane Steichen punted the ball back to him there and just said, "Here, have the game. You can win." Just bad coaching decisions. And this is like another Colts loss that some falls on Danny Dimes, but also some falls on Shane Steichen's inability to call an effective game. Their offensive play calling was bad, and their decision making was very bad. They punted the ball. They played way too conservative on the road against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, and they paid the price for it. They also couldn't finish their drives. Too many field goals, too many, turnovers on downs, and just not touchdowns. Just lack of execution all over the place from the Colts players and coaching staff. And you know who doesn't lack execution? The Chiefs. ever. They are not going to be the reason they lose. They never have been, and they weren't in this game. I'm worried about the Colts. We'll talk about it later. They finally have a division game. I don't think they're going to win it, but I'll let you
A
finish
division
off.
game that's not Tennessee. I want to emphasize.
Yeah, they have a real team finally.
But
Right.
I will say this. I agree with you 100%. Shane Steichen, I think, has done a terrific job with his team
He
this
is
year.
a
So I
nice
don't
coach,
want to
yeah.
take that away from him. I don't want to take that away from
Right.
him. But to me, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, it's to me, it's just what are the Colts doing? I mean, it's 4th and 3. I get it to a degree to punt it away, but you know who's on the other side. Like it's Patty
You have
Mahomes.
Jonathan Taylor.
That you have Jonathan Taylor run the
Third and
football,
three. If
push
it's
him,
third
try to do a fake tush push. I mean, I don't think the Colts would have done that, but still, give it to Jonathan Taylor, who's arguably an MVP this season. Um, to me, I think Shane Steichen was coaching to lose. I really do. I think he just got
felt like
nervous
it.
because it was Kansas City. I really don't put this one on Danny Dimes. I actually don't think he had that bad of a game. I put this honestly on coaching, and I think that you know what they gave this one to the Chiefs. But I think it'll be all right. Uh, it's still Davis Mills they play next week if C.J. Stroud's not healthy, so we'll see what takes place. But then again, Davis Mills has also been terrific, so I'll get into my pick later in the show. I don't want to spoil it, but we'll move on now to the Bills and Texans. This is kind of a nice transition talking about Davis Mills, right?
Yeah.
So, I was stunned by this game. As I told you last week on the podcast and Matthias, I would be stunned if the Bills lost this game because not just because the Bills needed it, but also because it's Davis Mills, it's the Houston Texans. And Davis Mills has been playing out of his mind for a backup quarterback. Just want to put that out there. Obviously, he's smart with the football. He's made really good decisions, and I don't think that's being talked about enough. And maybe that's the Stanford education. I don't know, but I want to give tons of props to Davis Mills for playing very, very effective. Um, but also, I think we need to talk about the Texans' defense. This defense might be one of the best in the NFL, and because they were so bad to start the season, at least on offense, they took them a while to get some recognition. And I think in prime time, when Will Anderson stepped up and stacked Josh Allen, what was it, 2 or 3 times, may have been three, but they were big sack plays. And
Huge
Josh
one
Allen,
late.
it was
Yeah.
in Josh Allen's head all night. I mean, Will Anderson was the MVP of that game. And, it goes back to the Texans trading up to get him in 2023 with CJ Stroud and how they built their future with Cleveland's picks. I mean, essentially, in a lot of ways, but nevertheless, give the Texans a lot of credit and give D'Amico Ryans a ton of credit, man. That guy can coach his ass off. And
Yeah, you can.
Davis Mills played his ass off, definitely. And even Davis Mills' rookie year, he looked like, he didn't look like he was going to be a solid starter, but he looked like a backup quarterback. You know what I mean? And Davis Mills has come in and played backup quarterback, and I think he deserves a ton of props for that. Um, Obviously, though, I still think CJ Stroud should start when he's healthy, but I want to leave you some time, Jake. If I'm Buffalo, yeah, I'm a little worried, but you got to beat New England when you face them. That's going to be the test, I think.
My problem for Buffalo, and we've talked about this a lot this year, they don't possess a threat on offense that's not Josh Allen or James Cook.
Dalton
And
Kincaid's all right when he's healthy, though.
but like that can't be your weapon.
Mhm.
You can neutralize Dalton Kincaid. And if you can we've talked about this the whole season of I just don't think their offense has enough firepower, and I don't think their defense is good enough.
Mhm.
And their offense did not perform against the NFL's one of the NFL's best defenses. And when you get to the playoffs, defenses are going to ramp up and they're going to have time to prepare for you. And you're going to be the only team that they're preparing for.
And
And
also, we should mention the Texans have gotten themselves back in the wild card conversation.
yes, Houston is not a
Yeah.
team that I would want to play right now.
If they catch
Not
up to
even a little bit.
Jacksonville, or even they could catch up to Indianapolis, even and
Yeah,
they play this week. So
we'll get to that when we
keep an
pick.
eye on the Texans. They might be a team that snuck up from behind, even though they started 0-3. And heck, I think they're the only other team in the modern era recently to start 0-3 and make the playoffs. But that was in the Deshaun Watson years. The floor is yours, Jake. It's time for Tampa Bay, LA.
I don't really have a lot here.
Mhm.
I didn't watch a ton of this game. I was busy. I was doing other stuff. What I got to see, and from what I've read and seen and highlights and all that, the Rams are the best team in the NFL. And that's really the only reason I wanted to talk about this. up and down, offense, defense, coaching, everything. I mean, these Matthew Stafford is playing the best football of his life. I put out a tweet like this was the Matthew Stafford that I fell in love with as like a football fan as a kid. Matthew Stafford was one of the first quarterbacks like I ever loved to watch. And this was Detroit Lions' really bad team, Matthew Stafford, where he would just chuck it to Calvin 30 times a day. This is the Matthew Stafford that we're seeing right now, where except he has Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua and Kyron Williams and maybe the greatest offensive mastermind in the NFL. Not to mention a phenomenal defense with a bunch of dudes nobody's ever heard of because that's just how the Rams do it. Rams are awesome. I think they're the best team in the NFL. And if they won the Super Bowl this year, if you told me that, if you went to the future and came back and said the Rams won the Super Bowl, I would be like, sure, I think that's fair. For Tampa, they're just decimated. A lot of injuries. They're really not playing their best ball lately. And it's frustrating, I think, if you're a Tampa fan, because this is another year where it just kind of feels like you're wasting a lot of the good stuff that you have.
I don't think Tampa's wasting a lot of what they have. I think everyone's been injured.
Well, yeah, it's just another
Mike
year
Evans
where you're
being
not getting
out
anything
hurt.
done.
I mean, even though they still won with Mike Evans being out, but that's starting to really come into effect. Baker Mayfield, he has not played. He did not play good in the Rams game. He played good against New England and against Buffalo. He did have some turnovers that weren't great, but Tampa's still in a weak division. Like, I think they're still probably going to win the South. But
They
you
got
know what? Carolina's tougher, even though Carolina didn't look good against San Francisco. Carolina's still competitive in games this year. So Carolina can make things interesting. But to me, Tampa Bay, I still think, is on their way to winning this division. Baker Mayfield, hopefully he's healthy, gets back on the field. We'll see what that means for Tampa. They play Arizona this week. It could be a get back on the right track kind of game. And they definitely need that right now. But you're not wrong. I mean, to me, I think injuries are really playing a role for Tampa. And I'm not going to really go too much into Stafford because everything you said is right. But I will say, Stafford having only 2 interceptions the entire season. I've
insane.
never seen him have 2 interceptions the whole season in his career. He led the league in interceptions the year the Rams won the
Awesome.
Super Bowl.
Yeah,
And I'm not,
really, that's
that's
a
not
really
to
good
knock him.
point.
You know my thing?
No, and
I don't care. Throw picks if you win. Throw as many as you want. I don't care. But still,
no,
Stafford,
that's
this is a legacy year for Stafford. And if Stafford wants to go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, win the MVP this year, bare minimum, and a playoff game, bare minimum. Like, because to me right now, I still think you can question if Matthew Stafford belongs. If he has a great season this year, there's no doubt in my mind he belongs. All right,
the
let's move
interception
on.
thing's a great point because he's a gunslinger, and when you're a gunslinger who doesn't throw picks, it looks like this.
Yeah, and he's been very careful with the football this year. He's playing out of his mind. And honestly, I don't think we're talking about the Rams enough. I
Yeah,
really,
that's the only reason I picked this game was just to talk about the Rams.
that's fair enough. That's fair enough. And I know I talked a lot about Tampa there, but we're going to move on now. Going to stay down south. Well, that game was in LA, so but still technically down south. We're going to Dallas for the next one. Remember, I picked the Cowboys to beat the Eagles, and what was I don't know if it was my one sentence, but I said divisional football gets weird. Expect the Eagles to lose this game. And the Eagles were up 21-0. They blew it. They let Dak Prescott come back, and the Cowboys didn't look necessarily that impressive coming back. It took them a while to score those 3 touchdowns, and they were scattered all over the place. If I'm the Philadelphia Eagles, am I concerned? Not really. I think they kind of let the Cowboys back into this game, but if I'm the Cowboys, you needed this win. You needed to feel a little bit good again. You're back to 500. But you're about to lose to Kansas City tomorrow, or not? Well, yeah, tomorrow, as we're filming this 2 days away, but tomorrow as you're watching the podcast if it's on Wednesday. So to me, if you're Dallas, you need a game like this to win. If I'm Philadelphia, though, I'm not too worried. But the thing that's interesting to me, Jake, is nobody has won back-to-back division titles in the NFC East since I think 09, 2010. I think that was the last time, 09-10 were the last 2 division title winners. I'm very confident in that. Might have been 10-11, but I think it's been literally for almost a decade and a half now. Is Philadelphia going to break the cycle? This could somewhat let Dallas back in it. I mean, but Philadelphia has to have like a historic collapse. Now, they did collapse in this game, but I do not think they're going to collapse like this again this season. I just think it's divisional football. It gets weird. And as I said, the Cowboys were sluggish coming back. Dak Prescott had a good game. I don't want to take that away, but it took a lot out of the Dallas Cowboys to get those 24 points on the board. What did you make of this game, Jake?
Yeah, my, first things first, I do think they're going to repeat as division champs. I think they've built too big of a lead. Here's the thing, I don't think that they're a flawless team. I think they have their flaws. I
Mhm.
don't know that they're very good. Like, I think that they're good. I don't know that they're Rams good. I don't know that they're Seahawks good. I don't know that they're Patriots good. I don't know that they're name another. I'm not even sure that they're
Lions good.
Packers good.
Lions good, maybe.
Lions good, yeah. They're going to win this division because Dallas is not doesn't have a good enough defense to stay in the division race. And they're like you said, I think they are probably going to lose to the Chiefs. I'm not concerned about the Eagles because they just win, but this is a team that if they went one and done in the playoffs, I would not be surprised because I just think they have too many problems and I don't think they're cohesive. There's a lot of bad blood in that locker room, I think.
I agree
AJ
with
Brown
you. There's
got to go.
a lot of bad blood, but they did just win the Super Bowl. So to me, like, if they
It
have a
should
rough
help.
playoff run, that's
Should
not
help.
the end of the world for them. If they, you know, but who knows? If things turn out bad for the Eagles this year, I don't think they really have to worry too much. But as I said, it's a big lead in that division. But at the same time, Dallas is back to 500, so we'll see.
Not over yet, that's for sure.
Jags, Cardinals, Jake.
Yeah, I just needed to talk about Trevor Lawrence, dude. I think we talk about he might be our most talked about topic podcast since this thing started, and it's because he continues to blow my mind. He is. I heard who. Oh, I was listening to Bill Simmons' podcast
Mhm.
about it the other day. Maybe it was just a TikTok of it, but he mentioned a good point. It's like he'll make three of the worst decisions you've ever seen, and then he just rips off the best pass of the day. And it's amazing to watch because you just never know which version of Trevor Lawrence you're going to get game to game. And you also don't know which version of Trevor Lawrence you're going to get drive to drive to drive. And that I think is my favorite part about watching him, and probably would be my least favorite part if I was a Jaguars fan of he gets out onto the field and breaks the huddle, and you don't know whether he's going to throw an interception or throw the best touchdown pass you've ever seen. And it's like you kind of just have to take that risk every play. From the Cardinals standpoint, they're dead. It's over. They're not very good. I I I just want 1 week. I want Trevor Lawrence to have two back-to-back good games because he's not stacking anything. He's just all over the place. I can't figure him out. And he's the one player in the NFL that I want to figure out. And I he did not look like this at Clemson. He didn't turn the ball over ever at Clemson. So why is he doing it now?
Well, it's the NFL. It's not
Right,
college.
but like
It's a big thing there.
it wasn't like at Clemson he was daring team. Like he wasn't throwing into coverage or didn't have turnover worthy plays. He was a clean player. He made good decisions. That's why I'm like, how do you go from that to this? How do you go from great decision maker, elite pocket presence, elite processor to makes in does Jameis things sometimes? It's mind boggling to me. That's all I got.
I will say this: the Jaguars have a good team around Trevor Lawrence. The Jaguars are much improved from where they were last year. Last year, I don't think they had a good team around Trevor Lawrence. This year, it's much better. ETN's having a solid year, and I think it was Brenton Strange was the leading receiver for the Jaguars. He
He's
had a
good.
good game. They have a better collection of weapons this year than they've had. The Kansas City game was Trevor Lawrence's best of the year. I agree with you. I want to figure out Trevor Lawrence too. I've been a huge believer in Trevor Lawrence, as you well know. After that one game, I think who was it against Houston? Yeah, where they blew it to Davis Mills.
Yeah.
And I kind of joked and said, "What was that? I can't take the Jags seriously." But then they come out, they blow out the Chargers, and then they play tight with Arizona. I think to me, it's really weird. I mean, if Trevor Lawrence could stop turning the ball over, he's probably in better shape. Because if he didn't turn the ball over, Arizona probably isn't in this game. And
Yeah.
I'll leave it there. But we'll see. I mean, they're still 7-4, and they have a lot of tiebreakers. So, but we'll see.
And they still have the Colts.
That division is going to get nitty gritty. The AFC South. You don't think about that too often, but Houston is coming back. Jacksonville 7-4, and we don't know what to believe with Trevor Lawrence. And Indianapolis has 3 losses. I mean, everyone's right on each other's tail in that division right now, and it's going to be interesting to see how it comes down. Outside of Tennessee, of course. Um, let's move on to the Packers and Vikings. I don't know if I believe in JJ McCarthy like I thought against Detroit. I thought when he played Detroit a few weeks ago that he's got good cachet to him. He was confident in the pocket, made some good plays, turned the ball over a little bit, but technically his first year starting in the league because of his injury last year. I didn't want to be overly critical, but like now I'm at a point where I just don't know if I see it with JJ McCarthy. I think he's got, but it's still his first year as a full starter. But to me, if I'm Minnesota, I'm looking at who made the Sam Darnold move. Because if Sam Darnold is in the Vikings offense right now, I think you're doing a lot better.
Yeah, I agree.
And Green Bay absolutely trounced them. It wasn't a game at all. Like it was not even a game. They were embarrassed. And if you're Coach Kevin O'Connell, you started off the season with a nice win over the Bears, comeback win, which JJ McCarthy didn't look good early on, but came back and helped out, contribute. And they have good weapons. I mean, you look at Justin Jefferson. I mean, they got studs. They got studs on that team.
There was moments in that Bears game where you thought, "Oh my God, this is it. Like here he comes." Like
And the
this
first
was
one,
his
not the
moment.
second one. Well, the second one too, actually, really, when you
There
think
were
about it. The Bears came back late. And I
there
honestly
were
credit
moments
Ben
in those
Johnson
games
for
where you
that.
were like, "Oh, here's
Yeah.
JJ. That's the JJ." And we have not seen that yet since.
Yeah. And Green Bay, listen, they won this game convincingly. I want to give Green Bay the respect, but I still don't know what the hell they are.
I'm glad they finally figured out how to beat a team that's worse than them.
Yeah, they did. They put that team away. They did because they played down to the Browns
Finally.
competition and lost to the Browns, and that's what the Browns defense will do to you if you play up to their level. They what was it? The Carolina Panthers. They lost to them out of nowhere, and their third loss. I'm trying to remember who it was, but was it? I can't remember who their third
Oh,
loss.
I'll go look. Just
Yeah.
filibuster for me. I'll
I know
go
they
look.
tied Dallas, and they made their defense, which is not bad. Green Bay has a decent defense. They made Dallas look good, and they didn't need to do that. But
Green Bay
Dallas's
lost.
offense is good, but
Oh,
still, yeah,
Green Bay lost 10-7 on Monday Night Football
that's
against
right.
BG.
Philadelphia. Yep, yeah, my bad. I
That
forgot that game was
very
so forgettable. That game was so
forgettable game.
forgettable, and it
Forgettable
should have
game.
been memorable because of Jalen Hurts and Jordan Love. Listen,
Correct.
I'm not in on Green Bay whatsoever. I mean, I know I took up all the time. I want you to talk a little bit here, Jake, but
No,
um,
you're good. I think you hit pretty much all the
yeah.
points here.
For me though, Jake.
I was never a McCarthy fan.
Mhm.
Um, Shout out to my brother. He was at the game against Bowling Green. Well, actually, a lot of my family members were there. Michigan played Bowling Green. JJ McCarthy had 3 picks against BG. And that was the
All
moment we should have known. 3 interceptions against a MAC school. So
right. Well, and I'll also say this before we wrap it up, just in terms of Green Bay, not JJ McCarthy. Um, they played Detroit this week on a short week. I kind of wish they had a longer week to play a division rival, but
in
the
Detroit,
Detroit
too.
in
Mm,
Detroit. I mean, Green Bay, if they really want to prove something to me, they go win this game.
absolutely.
They go stun the Detroit Lions at home, and then they have the tiebreaker. But I have a feeling Dan Campbell, we know how Dan Campbell is. When you get to him once, he holds a grudge and he's going to come back. So I
There's
think the
no
Lions win, but we'll talk about that during one pick one.
there's no man who holds a bigger grudge than Dan Campbell.
I mean, did you see what he did to the Commanders? I'm sorry. I mean,
Oh man.
Jaden Daniels didn't even play in that game, and he went to town. He called probably the best game of the. Amon-Ra St. Brown had probably a career game then. I mean that was insane. That was insane. I mean, but we'll talk about
He
that
hates
during
me.
one sentence, one pick. Jake, you have the floor. You're a Bears man now. You are a Bears
I
man now.
think I'm a Bears guy now.
Oh,
Uh,
man.
hey, my grandma's
I
from
blame Mason
Chicago.
Rudolph.
Hey, my grandma's from Chicago. I got Chicago in my blood. I got great friends who live in Chicago. Shout out to you guys. I know you're not listening, but shout out to y'all. So I might just be a Bears guy now. I've been to Chicago a lot in the past few years. Go visit them. I root for some other Chicago sports teams. Go Sky. I'm a big Red Stars, Blackhawks. Those are all teams I don't really root for, but they're all in Chicago and they're fun. I think I gotta start rooting for the Bears, dude. It's the stupidest fun team of all time. I don't think they're good. Caleb Williams isn't very good, but also isn't bad enough to lose these games because they keep winning. Ben Johnson's a great coach. They have one of my favorite cornerback rooms in the league to watch. There's so many good players in there. Nashawn Wright, Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon. They've got Montez Sweat as a pass rusher. Like I think their defense has formidable players. I just don't know how they keep winning all these games, but I'm all here for it. I love rooting for the Bears. I don't know that I would say I love watching the Bears because it's like gross and ugly every time, but it's like gross and ugly wins. So they end up being fun at the end, I guess. Steelers perspective, just yikes. Mason Rudolph stinks.
I mean, I agree with that for what you said about the Steelers, so I'm not going to even really go too much into the Steelers. I think when Aaron Rodgers gets back, they'll be fine. They're
Probably.
definitely probably an eternal 9-8 team right now.
It's
But
just it's just
Chicago
life
is
in
who I want to
Pittsburgh.
talk about.
Hell yeah. Go
Caleb
Bears.
Williams does not impress me. He still doesn't impress me. Ben Johnson, I think, certainly impresses me. Ben Johnson is outsmarting all the bad coaches. That's what this comes down to. Or bad teams with bad defenses like Cincinnati. I don't think Zach Taylor is that bad of a coach because he has been to a Super Bowl. But I mean, I'm not saying he's great. But, still, regardless, the Bears have had an awful schedule. And they played this. The Steelers were their toughest opponent, essentially, during their wins. And the Steelers didn't have their starting quarterback. So it's hard for me to take the Bears seriously when the schedule gets gritty. They got to play Green Bay twice still. They end the season with Detroit, and
I don't
Detroit
feel good about any of
trounced them
three.
week two. Detroit absolutely punched them in the mouth week two. Now, the last week of the season, maybe Detroit clinched a playoff berth and they don't need to play all their starters, but still, like, I can't take Chicago seriously. I don't think many pundits are taking them that seriously. Good for them for somewhat changing the culture. I think Ben Johnson's done a good job there, and I don't think we're talking about that enough. I think Ben Johnson, being 8-1 in his last 9 games is something to talk about from a coaching perspective. He certainly is proving that he was the right man for this job. I still don't know if Caleb Williams is the guy. I still don't know if this defense can stay consistent once they play a team like Green Bay twice. They do play the Browns once, which might be another win, but still, like,
I don't know, man.
I can't buy
Caleb
into the
against our
Bears.
defense.
Until the Bears clinch that playoff berth, I feel like this collapse is coming. I just do. And it's not going to really be on Ben Johnson. I think Ben Johnson has done enough to prove he's doing a good job. But this team should be losing a lot of these games to me. And the Giants let them back in. Cincinnati let them back in. I mean, these games were essentially handed back to the Bears, and the Bears have kind of gotten lucky. Now, the Bears
Good
end up
teams
going
win,
to the
bad teams
playoffs. I'll shut
lose.
up. If the Bears go to the playoffs, I'll shut up. I will. But I have a feeling the Bears are going to get a taste of reality with their tougher schedule coming up. Uh, and they did when they played Baltimore. When Baltimore started getting back into it, Baltimore was 1-5. So I just think the Bears' schedule hasn't gotten real yet. And once it does, I think we're going to be talking a lot differently about the Bears. And you know what? I think the other thing we should chime into, and I know I've gone a little bit over, Jake. Bears fans, do they even? I don't even know if Bears fans realize that they're 8-3. Like, to me, that it's like
Probably
they've been
doesn't
so beat
feel
down
like
over the
it.
years. I don't even think they feel like they're 8-3 right now. It seems like there's
Probably
no
not.
concern over there. I don't know why, but I mean, like, I know a Bears fan personally, and he said that he's not confident in the Bears at all, even though they're 8-3. So I'm not saying the schedule's about to get real, and we're going to see who the Bears really are. And it starts this week against Philadelphia. We'll get to that in one sentence, one pick. All right. Finally, Panthers, 49ers. There really wasn't much to say about this game. I kind of just picked it because we talked about the 49ers and how they're getting healthy. And, Matthias chimed in and talked about how Brock Purdy is getting healthy and whatnot. Brock Purdy was terrible in that game. I mean, I get that the 49ers still won. It was Carolina. I think Carolina's defense was the story here. And Kittle had a great game offensively. I'll chime in there. McCaffrey, too. McCaffrey can run the football. I think he was the leading receiver and the leading rusher, I think.
Surprised me.
Yeah. I think he rushed for like 89 yards. And it was against his former team, by the way. Um,
Love a good run.
McCaffrey I mean, they got guys on that team. And Mac Jones, to me, still brought some more juice for San Francisco. I mean, but they're paying Brock Purdy all the money, so you can't put Mac Jones out there when Brock Purdy's healthy. I mean, I don't know, man. They play the Browns next week. I think they're going to win. I think the 49ers are going to beat the Browns. We'll get into that, of course, the nitty-gritty of it in a little bit. But I know you're giving me the no there, but
No, they're going to beat us. It's fine.
yeah, the front seven that San Francisco has is really good. Robert Saleh might be the defensive coach of the year, honestly. He's done a terrific job. But to me, like what I learned in this Panthers game is like, you know, Matthias talked about being scared to play the 49ers. When it comes
I
to the
wasn't scared.
postseason,
Monday night did not instill fear into me
no,
whatsoever.
not at all. In fact, it detracted it. Yeah, I think the
Correct.
49ers are going to the
Yep.
playoffs. I think they're going to be competitive with anybody, but I don't buy that this team is just going to be great in the playoffs. I don't see it. I do not see it. I think the Rams are the real threat right now. I think the Eagles they're constructed to be better, but they might not be. We're not sure. Detroit and Green Bay both. I even have more faith in Green Bay, I'd say, right now than I do San Francisco, just because I trust Jordan Love more than Brock Purdy right now. I mean, Jake, I want to give you some time on this, but
I don't. I think you.
Carolina, I have nothing to really say there. Just 49ers to me was the story here.
Yeah, I don't. I don't think that there's much else to say. I think we kind of. I think you pretty much hit all of the key points there. Like Brock didn't look good, but the 49ers are still talented and they're well coached. So they're going to make it, but I don't know. They looked better with Mac Jones. And look, if Brock's playing like that, I'm not scared of this team.
I'm not
Carolina's
scared of them at
defense
all.
did that to them.
And I'll say this. Where the Browns may have an advantage is if Carolina's defense did that to them, imagine what the Browns defense would
Correct.
do to them.
What our other defense is
This
going to
could
do.
be
And
a low-scoring, ugly game we see in
Carolina's defense
Cleveland.
isn't like
Yeah.
terrible, but they're not the Browns or the Texans or the
Well,
Rams defense. So
San Francisco didn't put good film on tape, but maybe there's some tricks up Kyle Shanahan's sleeve that we haven't seen. But that's not really how it works. I mean, in college it works like that, but that's not really how the NFL is. I think we're going to find out a little bit more about both the 49ers and Shedeur Sanders. I don't even want to say the Cleveland Browns, but Shedeur Sanders in particular in Sunday's game. All righty. So one sentence, one pick. We finally made it. Here's the Week 12 standings. Jake, once again, the king. I think he found the emoji there. Do you have
no,
it?
I don't know where it went. I had a crown and it's gone. Hold on.
Okay. Jake will try to find the crown because he's currently the king.
You filibuster. There it
He
is.
won this week. There it is.
There, woo!
He's got a lot of crowns. A
Bunch
lot
of
of crowns.
crowns.
But yeah, yeah. So 11 for Jake. Matthias had 9, and me with 10. So it's
Real
kind of a
quick.
close knit week, but
You guys
Jake is
are
running away with it.
well,
58, 50, 50. I
and you
tied
and Matthias,
It's neck and neck with Matthias and I, but you are running away
you
with the picks.
you two are performing admirably. You guys are doing really well in terms of like picks.
Mhm.
Like in a normal circumstance, like you guys are picking like
The
you guys are
guy
going,
who's actively trying for second place, by the way.
you guys are going like 10-4 every week. I'm done actively trying for second. From here on out, I'm going for the win.
You're going for the win. All right.
I'm
Well,
going for the win. You heard it here first, people.
yeah, anyway,
I'm
week
done
12
playing for
right
second.
there. Week 12 right there. I was in second place this week, Matthias in last place overall.
Andrew with a nice comeback.
But yeah, it was a nice week for me, I'd say. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll say this, I should have picked the Browns. I didn't pick the Browns because I know how rookie quarterback starts typically go in Cleveland. And I'm very happy about my Dallas pick because like I said, divisional football gets weird.
All right.
Everybody has a chance in divisional football. All right.
Let's
So,
breeze through these.
let's get going. Yes. Matthias has his picks. He's not with us tonight, of course. He will be back next week. But
He's a baller for
he has
setting
his
those
picks,
up
so
there.
I'm going to state what he gave me for each game as we go over them. We are going to start with Green Bay and Detroit. So Matthias's pick is Detroit over Green Bay because Detroit claims long-awaited supremacy, is what he says. Your sentence, Jake.
I'm also going to take the Lions. Home team, short week. That's all I got.
Divisional football gets weird. However, Green Bay won their game at home already. This feels like a series that needs to split. I'm taking the Lions here. And we know how Dan Campbell operates. He comes back with vengeance. All right, Kansas City at Dallas. Chiefs over Cowboys for Matthias. Mahomes is desperate, is his sentence. And even though the Colts did lose that game to the Chiefs, that he still thinks they're desperate. But yeah, they still
They
kind of
are.
are with how Denver's far ahead. Jake, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chiefs. They are inevitable until they are not, and they have not yet been not inevitable.
I'm taking Kansas City as well. I agree with Matthias. I don't think you could say it any better than Mahomes is desperate.
You
All
said it
right.
better than whatever jumbled sentence I said.
All righty. I want to be careful with this one because it's Ravens Bengals. We don't know officially if Joe Burrow will be back.
I think so.
Yeah, okay, it looks like it. Ravens over
All
Bengals.
right.
Joe shouldn't have come back this season, is what Matthias has said.
Oh, we got to talk about
Yeah.
that next week with
Yeah,
him.
we will. I kind of want to know that one, so we will save that. But Matthias is taking the Ravens. Jake, who are you going with?
I'm going to take Baltimore.
Taking Baltimore. All right.
Bengals are just, their defense is just laughably bad.
I think I'm going to take the Ravens too. Their defense is terrible. It is. Even if Joe Burrow's healthy, I don't know. I think Joe Burrow makes it more interesting. They could win like a shootout. Divisional football is weird, but this is in Baltimore, and the Ravens are kind of rolling right now. I'm taking the Ravens to win this game, but I won't be surprised if the Bengals win. I want to say that just because divisional football gets weird. Matthias said Eagles over the Bears. The Bears defense is too injured, and the Eagles are desperate. I don't know if the Eagles are necessarily
He
desperate.
likes the word desperate this
He
week.
does. He really does. I get the Mahomes one, but I don't know about desperate for the Eagles. Jake,
I'm also going to take the Eagles because we don't think the Bears are as good as they look to be.
this is a Bears prove it game. I really just thought of that. This is
It
okay.
kind of is,
You're
yeah.
8-3. Show it to us. Show it to
Prove
us.
you're
Show
eight
us
and
to
three.
you
Yeah,
that we can take you
100%.
seriously. Show us that we can take you seriously. Caleb Williams, show us we can take you seriously. I'm taking Ben Johnson seriously, but I'm not taking that roster seriously. I'm taking the Eagles. All right. Rams, Panthers. Let's see here. Here is Matthias's sentence. Matthew Stafford MVP question mark. All right. MVP is Matthew Stafford according to Matthias question mark though. He's asking it as a question, pardon me. But he's
Yes
picking
is
the
the answer to that
Rams.
question.
All right, Jake, your pick.
I'm taking the Rams. This is going to be a bloodbath.
I am taking the Rams. Carolina's not good. Competitive but not good. That's my sentence there. All righty. And next up, we have San Francisco at the Browns. All right, we talked briefly a little bit about this. Matthias has
He took the
the
Niners, I'm guessing.
49ers. Yep. This will be ugly, and the Browns will have a lead at some point. Okay. But he's picking the Niners to win. Jake, what's your pick?
I've gone back and forth on this the whole show. I've been thinking about it. Since I'm playing to win now, if I was playing for second, I would take the Browns. But since I'm playing to win now, I'm going to take the 49ers literally because this is Shedeur Sanders' second career start. I will say this first career start at home for him, that place is going to be jumping. That's the only way we win.
I'm also taking the 49ers. Week 2 for Shedeur. Let's see how he does against a real front seven. That's what I'm taking. A real front seven on the
Fair
defense.
enough. That's
What
valid.
the 49ers have. So I'm taking the Niners. All righty. And I just want to let you know we are completely lockstep. We agree on every game so far, all three of us.
Wow.
Just want to let you know.
Never happens.
Yeah, that
It'll
doesn't
change
happen
soon. It'll change
frequently.
soon.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if it changes with this next one. This might be the first time we have difference of opinion here. Houston at Indianapolis. Daniel, do something, please, is Matthias' sentence, but he has the Colts over the Texans. What's your pick?
Uh, I'm going to take the Houston Texans.
All right, first difference.
Their defense is too good. The Colts will not have answers for it.
I'm with you on this one, Jake. I am taking Houston. I'm taking Houston. Uh, Davis Mills is just playing out of his mind, and the defense has been incredible. New Orleans at Atlanta. Dolphins over the Saints for Matthias. I'm sleeping while this game is on, is his sentence.
Uh-huh. I'm
Jake.
going to take Miami.
I'm also going to take Miami. They're kind of caught fire. I have the Dolphins jersey on right now. Let's go. Miami has the Dolphins, the greatest football team. Not this season, but they might be catching back up. We'll see. Atlanta at the New York Jets.
I'm
Falcons over
fascinated
the
to see.
Jets. This will be an absolute barn burner for no reason, is what Matthias says.
You might be right. With that being said, I'm going to take the New York Jets. In Terod, we trust.
I am taking Atlanta in this one.
Let's go.
But
Oh, I forgot I'm playing to win. Maybe I want to take Atlanta. No, Jets. Who cares?
that's all right. I'm taking the Falcons to win this game. Uh, I don't know. The Jets haven't shown me anything that makes me believe they're worth picking. And neither of the Falcons, but they do have a win over the Bills. Arizona at Tampa Bay. Let's see what Matthias has here. Okay, Bucks need to watch their backs because of injuries, is what Matthias said. But he still has Tampa Bay winning. So he thinks this game might be close, is what I'm taking away from it. What's your thoughts,
Uh,
Jake?
So I'm looking at the spread because Vegas knows all. It's only -3, which leads me to believe they don't think Baker is playing because I think if Baker was playing, it'd probably be more than 3.
Yeah.
So the question is, do I trust Teddy Two Gloves? The answer to that would be yes. Bucks.
Oh man. Based on how Teddy Bridgewater, excuse me, played in that game,
In
I
those
don't know.
innings.
I don't know, but I don't trust Arizona either. So I'm taking Tampa Bay, playing it safe. Jacksonville at Tennessee. Matthias' sentence is Jags over Titans. Trevor, do something, please.
That's so real. He's not even here and he's talking about Trevor.
Go on, Jake.
uh kind of Jaguars win. Cam Ward plays really well.
Cam Ward played really well last
He
week.
sure did
Part of
play
me
well
feels like
last
the
week.
Titans are due. I don't know why.
If they won this game, wouldn't shock me. Even if I was playing for second, I'd be picking the Titans. But since I'm playing to win, I'm picking the Jags.
You know, I like Trevor Lawrence. I've been defending him, but I've also come to a realization he's never consistent, and he's also fallen into Tennessee trap games before. I am rolling with the Titans in this.
Okay, I like
They get
this.
their
That's
second win of the
fire.
season. Yep. I'm taking Tennessee here. Minnesota at Seattle. And as I said, divisional football gets weird. I always say
Sure
that.
does.
I'm taking Tennessee in the upset. Minnesota over Seattle. I mean, not over Seattle, but Minnesota on Seattle is our next game here. Let's see what Matthias has as I'm looking for the pick.
He has Seattle, I'm guessing.
Seahawks over Vikings, Sam Darnold revenge game. Fair enough. I didn't even think about that till he
I
actually.
didn't think about it either.
Yeah. What do you think, Jake?
Taking Seattle, we know how I feel about Seattle on this pod. We know how we feel about Minnesota.
I am in the same boat as both of you. Seattle for me as well. Las Vegas at the LA Chargers. Divisional football can get weird, right?
Not
Uh,
in this one.
let's see. Chargers over Raiders for Matthias. An injured team is better than no team.
Okay.
That's a great
That's a good point.
sentence. That's
A
actually
really
like a
good
word.
sentence.
That's
But
poetry, honestly.
Tyus is the best at the sentences.
He is the best at the sentences. I
That's my
agree with
take.
you.
I'm taking the Chargers.
I'm also taking the Chargers. I don't really have a sentence for that one.
Neither do I.
Buffalo at Pittsburgh.
This is
Ooh.
gross city. It's supposed to be like probably gonna snow.
Matthias likes Pittsburgh in this game. Steelers over Bills. I have a feeling. I don't know.
Shocker. Matthias likes the Steelers.
All right. What's your pick, Jake?
Steelers at home.
I'm taking Buffalo. They're
And I
desperate.
hate it.
They're desperate. They have to win an additional game and beat New England to take the East. I think if you're a Bills fan, you are nervous, and I think Matthias still had the take of the year with that. To
He
be
crushed
concerned.
that.
He crushed it. To be concerned if you're a Bills fan, because they're concerned, they got to win this game. I got to take Buffalo here. But their backs against the wall, they got to win. Denver at Washington. Matthias has the Broncos over the Commanders because the Broncos continue their Cinderella run until the playoffs happen. So Matthias is continuing things on with Denver. Seems pretty fair to me. Jake, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Denver as well. Washington. It's not really their year. They're going through a lot of injuries. They don't have Jaden Daniels. Give me Denver. Bo Nix, please play well.
I'm taking Denver as well. I don't have much to say about the Commanders. Uh, Patriots over Giants for this the final game. Patriots over Giants for Matthias. Jackson Dart makes this a hard pick, but Drake May.
Yeah, somebody who is brothers with a Patriots fan, I don't think I can pick against him because I hear about Drake May about 5 times a week.
All right, so you're taking New England. I'm also taking
Yes.
New England. The Giants are just bad. But having said that, look at one of the two losses New England has this year. One of them's to Pittsburgh. Who's the other one, Jake?
New England?
Yeah,
I have no idea.
the Raiders.
Oh, I
Week
forgot.
one, the Raiders
I can't
somehow
believe
beat the Patriots.
that was early season Patriots bull crap that they always like to do. That weird stuff that they like to do.
Well, the thing is, it's so weird is we're acting like this is the old Patriots when this is the Mike Vrabel, Drake May Patriots. It's a different
Kind
head
of
coach
feels
and a
like it's
different
not.
quarterback. Because Robert Kraft's still the owner, and because Gronk signed the 2-day contract, and Robert Kraft made that joke about playing the Jets. I don't know. Robert Kraft is the only thing that really hasn't changed, and some players on the roster. But it's Mike Vrabel, Drake May. That's the new Patriots. This isn't the old Patriots. This isn't your grandma's Patriots.
This might as
Talking
well just
about
be
your, we're talking about the new Patriots.
my grandma's Patriots did not have Tom Brady on them. They're a little older than that, I think, but
Fine, they had Drew Bledsoe.
sorry, Grandma. You're not old.
They had Matt Castle.
Good. That's a good call.
Your grandma's Miami Dolphins had Cleo Lemon. Remember him?
No, no, I don't. She was a Bears fan.
Look
They had
up the
Mike Ditka.
2000. Okay, I'm just gonna say this. Look up the 2007 Dolphins only win. It was against the Baltimore Ravens, 22-16, and the game-winning play in overtime was a pass from Cleo Lemon. I'm just gonna leave it there. It was incredible. It was a
Shout out that guy.
moment, and the perfect season Dolphins were at that game, so they're kind of 18-0. All right,
That's huge.
yeah, yeah, that's one sentence, one pick. Here we are. A lot of the same picks this week for us, but we kind of get into some different picks later on. I guess the big one for me is taking Tennessee over Jacksonville. I'm
Buffalo
taking
for you
Buffalo over
too.
Pittsburgh. Yep. I'm sorry. The Buffalo's backs are against the wall.
Go
And,
Jets, baby.
they weren't really against the wall against Houston. They are this time. The Steelers, I don't know about Aaron Rodgers' status either. All right.
Jets, 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 Jets.
Byeweek.
I shouldn't have said
I
anything.
had to say it. I had to say
That's
it.
my
I
fault. I
had to
was
do it.
ready for that. That's
I
my
had
fault.
to do it. You knew it
Oh,
was
this is when I
coming,
need
Jake.
Matthias. This is when I miss him.
All right, we got a little bit to get to on the NBA here. We have 3 minutes for it. And then we are going to talk some college football rivalries. Yeah. All right, Jake, you can lead off with the NBA.
Yeah, so without our resident NBA expert, we don't have a ton here. The first thing that I needed to talk about, I sent this to you and to Matthias in our group chat. Luka
Yeah.
Doncic, he's a freak of nature. He threw a pass. No, it wasn't even a pass. It was a crossover. He nutmegged our poor good friend Kevin Love, dribbled it through his legs, ran and got it, and it was the coolest thing ever. And I feel so bad for Kevin Love because he didn't deserve that. But Luka Doncic really good. Matthias also sent me the other day a pass from Jokic where he threw it literally like this behind his head, couldn't see the defender, couldn't see the player he was passing it to, and just threw it to him. So just wanted to highlight two absolute freaks that are playing basketball. And then something we talked about in our group chat, Andrew, and this is crazy. And I'm going to bring you in here. The Oklahoma City Thunder, defending NBA champions, on pace for 70 something wins, 74,
The
75.
Thunder might go 74-8, and I'm not kidding.
They're on pace to do similar
I am
things.
not kidding. They're that good.
But, and get this, also on pace to have the number one overall pick in the draft via the Los Angeles Clippers, and also a top 10 pick via the Utah Jazz. What?
Why
How?
are you surprised? Sam Presti's the best GM in all of
Sam
basketball.
Presti is a genius. A genius. This is a masterclass of team
Nobody should
building.
be surprised. Nobody. I mean, you
But
look
also,
back on the trade. You look back on the trade to get Shea
it
Gilgeous-Alexander
was
and all that haul, and
this.
how Oklahoma City won it easily.
We might be witnessing the greatest team building strategy, like not like the greatest team built ever, from nothing to MVP, NBA champion, and you still have lottery picks. Like he has aced this. You cannot do any better than what he's done. He did the opposite of the Rams, like when they did that bleep those picks mentality, when they traded away all their picks to get the Super Bowl.
And the Rams are still
Presti did
contenders, by the way.
Presti did the opposite and then won the title and then still has more. It's a masterclass. It is the most impressive thing I've ever seen in team building in any sport, and it's flabbergasting.
The biggest thing about the NBA in the 2020s decade, what is it, Jake? You know what it is?
I don't know.
Have you noticed every single season we've had a different champion? There has not been a repeat champion in the
It's the
2020s
Warriors,
decade.
huh?
The Warriors technically were repeat champions from the 2010s, but they weren't back to back. They've only
No,
had
they
one
went back to
2020s
back.
title. Only one 2020s title, though. I'm talking about
Oh,
the
yeah, no, they
2020s,
went.
not the
Okay, yeah,
2010s, the
I see what you're
2020s.
saying. Okay.
The 2020s. There has not been a repeat champion. Lakers, Bucks, Warriors, Nuggets, Thunder. No, I'm sorry. Nuggets,
Celtics.
Celtics, Thunder. Pardon me. Yes. We have not seen a repeat champion.
Yeah, we're gonna see.
Oklahoma City is building possibly what could be the first repeat champion of the 2020s.
They're gonna repeat.
I think they are on pace for 74 wins. I'm serious. They're what, like 17 and 1, 18 and 1. The Pistons are really good too, but the Pistons, we know, Cade Cunningham's playing out of his mind. You can consider him an MVP candidate, fine. But who is stopping the Thunder? Nobody. And who's
The,
stopping them a year from now?
the interesting thing about
Nobody
the
has
Thunder
the
too.
picks to do it.
One more thing
Yeah.
before we move on. This freshman class in college basketball is one of the best we've seen in recent memory. The lottery is going to be littered with talent. There's going to be talent up and down the lottery, and the Thunder are going to get two cracks at it after getting a crack at it last year and selecting my guy Thomas Sorber from Georgetown. And they've got probably two more lottery picks in what's going to end up being one of the most loaded lotteries we've seen in a long time. This
People
team could
are
end up
trying to
with
argue here in Cleveland that Kobe Altman's the best GM in the NBA. And listen, I love Kobe Altman, but
Colby's
he is
great.
not
Kobe's
Sam
great.
Presti. He is not Sam Presti. Sam Presti has been with the Oklahoma City Thunder since the franchise came to light after the Seattle Supersonics moved. He's been there the entire time. They didn't fire him even after they went on the fire sale when they traded Paul George and Russell Westbrook. He has done what I don't think any executive in pro sports has done.
It's yeah, like this is the
Get stars for years, never win a title, lose all those stars, build a super team back, and then you could possibly take the new superstars and add them to your roster. Let's say Shea Gilgeous-Alexander doesn't want to re-sign with Oklahoma City in the future. Or do they need to worry? I don't think that's
no.
going to be the case.
I think he already signed a max, but
Yeah, he already signed a max, but I'm just saying, like,
oh,
down the
another
line,
max, yeah.
another max down the line, or Chet Holmgren. And I think you and I both agree that Chet Holmgren's probably going to be the number 2 on the Oklahoma City Thunder, and he's a future superstar as well. And that's your number
But
2 guy,
yeah,
and then you have future picks that we don't even know yet.
yeah, you could take the kid from BYU at number 2 overall,
Yeah,
and then just say, you know what, Chet, we'll just trade you for more picks, or we'll trade Chet for something, and then they just bring in a
you might
center.
not need to, because Chet's is probably going to be a superstar as well.
Well, I'm just
He's on
saying,
his way.
like
Yeah.
they don't have to trade Chet, but they've given themselves the flexibility where if they need to fill a hole, they have every possible answer also to just say, you know what, we can fill a hole. John Morant's available. LaMelo Ball's available. Sure. Here's 2 first-round picks this year for LaMelo Ball. Thanks, Hornets. They can do
And
whatever they
listen,
want.
Giannis is out there.
Right. They can
Jokic
do
is out
whatever
there.
they can
Donovan's
do
out there.
whatever they want.
Cade
This is a
Cunningham is
master
now
class,
out
man.
there.
This is a masterclass.
Who is stopping the Thunder? I'm just being
The
completely
only
serious.
thing
Who is
stopping the
stopping them?
Thunder is that's it. That's the only thing.
Who is stopping the Thunder? Who is stopping the Thunder? That is
I don't
literally
know.
what I'm at.
It's a great question that I don't have an answer to.
And as I said, but I don't want to say the Thunder are going to win the title this year because to the 2020s have been the decade of no repeat champion. But the Thunder could break that this year. And they certainly look like they have many titles in their future if everything they have in place is in place. I mean, it's insane. It really is insane. I have never seen a franchise, Jake, do this at this capacity. I'm just being completely honest with you. The
It's
Rams
awesome.
did do the bleep them picks mentality, and they kind of had a rebuild period from 22 to 23 and got back to where they are now. But still, that's not this.
Well, I think what's interesting about it is the Rams did that and it worked, and then they had to reset, and then they're back. The Thunder did the opposite. That's why this is a
Yeah,
master.
true. I know you said that earlier, but it just clicked with me now. You're
No,
right.
yeah, they built, traded their superstars away, like you said,
Yeah,
rebuilt, and then did it again. But they did it to the umpteenth degree that we've spent more time talking about this than I thought we would.
I
Because
did too. Yeah, I know. We got to
I
get to college football in a sec, but
well,
yeah,
no, but I think we sit down and realize how unfathomable this would have been if you told somebody this. It is unbelievable
and
how
here's
how
one of the.
set
Sorry, I
it's
didn't mean to interrupt you
no,
there,
you're
but
good. Go. It's just unbelievable.
what I was going to say too. Think about this though. Who's the best player on the Thunder? You know
Shay,
who it is? It's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
who they
They didn't
stole from the
draft
Clippers.
him.
They stole him, bro.
They
Absolutely
didn't
stole him.
draft him. Like it's
Right.
insane. They did not even draft him. They got him in a trade because the Clippers gave up. And now, if you're the Clippers with all the old men, and I mean, obviously, I'm saying that figuratively, but I joke about that being the retirement home of basketball. The old players they constantly acquire and can never win championships because of age, primarily, because these are all superstars out of their prime. That's been the Clippers' problem for the last few years, and I'm going to keep saying it. All that, and you could have had Shea Gilgeous-Alexander with Kawhi Leonard over Paul George in time. I'm just saying that would have been different for the Clippers than Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City didn't just steal Shea from them and stole all their picks. They stole the Clippers' chance of even having young players because the Clippers are literally just filled with veterans. Just look at that roster top to bottom. Yeah, there's some youth in there, but not much. It's Kawhi, it's James Harden, and obviously Paul George was there for a while. Now not there anymore. And Brooke Lopez signed there. I think that was like their big free agency acquisition. Brooke Lopez, an aging decent player. Okay, I don't want to hear about the Clippers being any kind of postseason threat. They're not.
The Clippers,
They're not.
if the Thunder are a masterclass, the Clippers are the opposite. They're a disaster.
And we wanted to talk about right after they got Kawhi Leonard what a first class organization they are. And granted, I like Steve Ballmer a lot. I think he runs a good program there. But I'm
They're
sorry, they're not what Oklahoma City literally probably just not just robbed the Clippers, but robbed the NBA of titles for the next couple years and potentially. And
we
rookie superstars from other teams. I
we
mean,
talk about the Dodgers and how they're going to probably three-peat and they've ruined baseball, and the Thunder are just going to do that, and there's just going to be no parity in two of the three major sports because two teams just have all the talent. Done it in different ways, but
yeah. And there's a salary cap in basketball. It's a little different. The Thunder aren't really necessarily buying a championship.
no, and that's
They
what
have the
they've done it in a
assets to
different way,
continue it.
but
It's totally
it's
weird.
the there are two teams that are just way better than everybody else
Mhm.
in both of those sports, and I don't know. Let's get to college football.
Yeah, but I will just say this before we wrap up. If the Thunder build a dynasty, Sam Presti is probably going to go down in history as the biggest genius executive of all time. Because Michael Jordan was really the running the Bulls in the 90s. But if the 2020s become the decade of Oklahoma City, then yeah, that Sam Presti is probably the biggest genius executive of all
They owe
the NBA.
If they win
No doubt.
multiple titles, they owe Sam Presti a statue
At this
outside the arena.
even more than Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and he's been
Put them
terrific.
next to each
And he's
other.
getting the statue too, but still. All
But
right.
yeah, Sam Presti deserves a statue.
We
That's
got
all.
big games in
That's my
college
final
football.
take.
We got to get to them.
Matthias is going to be so proud of us.
He is. We talked a lot more NBA than we expected, but you know what? It was worth it because the Thunder are fun to talk
No,
about.
that was a great conversation. I
We
enjoyed that.
have 5 college football games in particular, some big rivalries to talk about. We obviously have the game, but we're going to
We're going to
save that
just
for the end.
breeze
Let's
through
save it for
these,
the
make some
end.
picks real quick.
Yes, we are.
All
Let's
right.
get to it, Jake. Vanderbilt, Tennessee, first C rivalry here. Big matchup for the SEC. These teams are trying to make their last second pushes. What do you think, Jake? I think Tennessee has home field advantage here. I think they need to win more and probably could make the better push here. But Vanderbilt's not necessarily out of things. But I mean, to me, this feels like a Tennessee game, meaning Tennessee. I know it's in Tennessee, but still.
Vanderbilt is closer in the rankings to getting in. Both of these teams, I think, are probably going to land on the outside looking in. I think they're both going to be right on the bubble.
Yeah, as I said, last second push.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if Vanderbilt wins handily and they prove they win by 3 touchdowns on the road, then yeah, maybe they have a choice, a chance to slide in. But they're 14, right? You got to be in the top 10-ish
Yeah.
with the way this is going to make it. So they got some spots to move and they'll need help. That being said, I would take the Volunteers solely based on the fact that they're at home. This will be two veteran quarterbacks, so that'll be an interesting matchup. Two guys that have played a lot of football, Pavia versus Aguilar, but I'm leaning Tennessee. It's hard to win in that stadium, and they like to rip the goalpost and throw them in the river when they win, so I'm excited for that.
I think Tennessee is going to win this game just because of the home field advantage. Vanderbilt to me is streaky. I haven't seen really consistent offensive play from them the entire season. So I don't know how I could take them seriously against Tennessee. Tennessee has shown
Tennessee is a
more
great
offense.
defense too.
They do have a great defense, but Tennessee has shown more offensive consistency when you look at the numbers and whatnot. So I don't know. It should be a good game. I think it will be a good game, but I am definitely taking Tennessee here to make that push. Oregon and Washington. Obviously, Washington's not ranked, so they're probably not going to mean too much here. But
They can
this
play
is
a lot
still
of
a big
spoiler.
rivalry. This is still a huge, probably the second biggest rivalry now in the Big Ten. So uh, I'm taking Oregon a lot to a little. That's my prediction. What do you think, Jake?
I think Washington keeps this close. I like Washington. They have a fun offense, fun quarterback, receiver, running back
Really?
trio. I don't think they're going to win. Um, you like to go with the division games are weird mantra, which I agree with. I think rivalry games are the same way.
Well, they
Um,
hate each other. I mean, when you hate each other, and
well, and that's what it
divisional
is,
teams
right?
hate each other too. I mean,
I've seen too many times
yeah.
in my life a bad Michigan team play really well against a really good Ohio State team because it's a rivalry game. And a 3-win Michigan team takes a really good Ohio State team down to the wire because it's a rivalry, and that's just the kind of stuff that happens. That being said, I am going to take Oregon, but don't be surprised if Washington's in this thing late. I think Dante Moore for Oregon's going to have to make a big throw at some point late in this game, make a big play to win it. Because I think Washington, their season is over, but they would love nothing more than to spoil their bitter rival season and take Oregon out of the playoff. If I don't know if they would fall out, but they might if they lost on the road to an unranked Washington.
All right, Texas and Texas A&M, and I'm taking Oregon too. Texas and Texas A&M. Um, Texas has been a disappointment since they played Ohio State. They've continued to be a disappointment. A&M has not been a disappointment at all. They've been terrific this year. I can't pick Texas for the life of me in this game at all. Everything we've seen this year shows me that they have not been serious. The Longhorns are going down against A&M.
Here's my problem: is I A&M is one of the weirdest teams in the country for me because sometimes they play the best football ever. And then sometimes they're down like 31-7 to South Carolina at home. And you're like, what the hell is going on? And they almost lost to Arkansas. And they almost lost, like, I don't, I think both of these teams have weird moments in them. A&M is an 11-0, and I give them credit for being 11-0, but I don't think that they haven't been this Ohio State, Indiana, like, pretty much perfect the whole season 11-0, where there's been few flaws and not a lot of trip ups. They've almost tripped up. This game is in Austin, which means it's a home game for the Longhorns. If Texas A&M is going to trip up and they're going to lose, this is where you can't make all those mistakes against your rival. I, I'm going to take A&M on the road because I do think they're the better team. But boy, I do not. It would not surprise me if they come out and they play bad if Texas just smothers them early. Arch,
Smothers them?
not like
What has Art shown you this year that makes you believe he's
Arch
going to come
hasn't
out
shown
and
me
smother
anything.
the A&M?
I watched this
What
Texas
makes you
A&M team give
what do
up.
you see in Arch Manning after seeing this whole year that makes you
It has
believe he's
nothing to
going to
do
come
with
out
Arch.
there and smother A&M?
This
No.
has nothing to do with Arch. I watched Arkansas. I watched Texas A&M give up 45 points to Arkansas, who has 2 wins. I watched them give up 37 points in the first half to South Carolina. That's what I've seen. So if the quarterbacks on those teams that don't have as much talent as Arch can do that, Arch can do it. And I'm not saying he's going to and that Texas is going to win, but if A&M comes out and they play like they did against Arkansas, they're not going to win.
Alabama and Auburn, another
I don't like
historic
this game.
rivalry here. This got some juice to it this year, though. I feel like Auburn could win this game. But I'm
This
not
is
taking Auburn. I'm
this
taking
is
A&M.
a win and in for Alabama. You lose, you're
Alabama's
out.
going to win this game. I'm very confident in that. Quarterback play, obviously better on the Alabama side. They were streaky against Oklahoma on defense, really. So their defense to me is really more concerning than their offense. Auburn, though, because Alabama's been streaky, I feel like Auburn could catch them off track. I mean, I would not be surprised if we see Auburn pull off an upset here, but I'm still going to ride it out with Alabama.
Here's the thing. I'm going to take Alabama and I'm rooting for Auburn.
I'm with you on that. I'm rooting for Auburn too,
I enjoy chaos.
but if
This
I were,
rivalry is really
yeah,
fun. We have seen some just unbelievable plays in this rivalry. Obviously, the Chris Davis kick return. The Auburn is going to win the football game call, which I stole once at a BW game, which was fun. The Isaiah Bond catch from 2 years ago when he was playing for Bama made one of the most ridiculous catches I've ever seen to beat Auburn on the road. Um, this rivalry always delivers. So I'm curious to see how well if Auburn is hanging around, they're going to make life very difficult for Alabama. The longer that Auburn stays in this game, the more likely I think it is that they win. I know that's kind of stupid analysis, but when you're the home team and you just keep building and building and building and building and building against your rival, that's how you win. And I think Auburn can do that. And I don't think they're very good, but that doesn't matter.
all right, and finally, drum roll.
You probably couldn't even hear that.
I know it wasn't even a good drum roll,
No,
but
it wasn't.
Ohio State, Michigan, the game of games. It's here. It's happening. And Ohio State is definitely the better team this year by far. Ryan
They
Day
were
has
definitely
those
the better
guys
team
ready
last
every
year.
week. They were the better team last year too. Ryan Day has those guys every week. They're ready to play offensively. They've been explosive, and we haven't seen the bag of tricks yet. We've only seen the top. We haven't seen them. We barely saw any of what they could do against Rutgers. Matt Patricia has had the defense on fire, and even with all that, I'm taking Michigan to win because of the rivalry's history. I'm sorry.
Well,
Ohio State has to show me
recent
they
history.
can beat them. Recent history, yes.
Because we won about
Not
8 in a
Jim
row
Tressel
before that.
years, not Urban Meyer years, none of that. The Ryan Day years. We have seen one win against Michigan, and that was right after Urban Meyer left. So I'm taking
If you've
Michigan to
seen
win
my
this game.
face this whole time, you know what I'm about to say.
I know what you're about to say. To me, though, there's one key difference here where if Ohio State wins this game, this is what it's going to be. It's going to be defense. It's going to be Caleb Downs in the defense.
They gave up 13 points last year and lost.
Still,
It
still,
doesn't matter.
what if they shut down Michigan completely though?
They shut down
They
Michigan
can.
completely last year. They gave up 13 points.
Well, then it's on the offense, but the
That's
defense
what I'm
needs to shut them down
saying.
even better this year. But here's the other thing,
You're not going to hold
Matt
Michigan out
Patricia.
of you're not going to hold them down forever at home. They're
I
going
want
to
to talk
score.
about Matt Patricia. I want to talk about Matt Patricia here.
Here's the thing. We could score 7 and we could give up 7 and still lose.
I'm not picking Ohio State to win. I'm picking Michigan.
That's
Okay,
what I'm saying. Like
because
this is it doesn't
Michigan
matter
has
if our
had the
defense gives up
rivalry.
7.
Ryan Day can't figure out Michigan. They're in his head. I can't. I cannot pick
This
Ohio
is
State to
so
beat
it's so
Michigan.
frustrating.
I'm with you. It's frustrating.
I
I'm
was
with you. It's
had a
frustrating. I am.
conversation with my mom and my brother a couple of months ago. I'll never
Yeah.
forget it. We were talking about the game and we were like, we didn't even remember who Michigan's starting quarterback was last year. We had to text one of our friends who's a Michigan fan. Like my mom texted her and we were like, hey, who was Michigan's quarterback last year? And she gave us the answer. We were like, oh, yeah, because he was irrelevant. And we've never going to hear from that dude again because he's never going to play another snap of football in his life. No offense, Davis Warren. You beat Ohio State. Point being, doesn't matter. You put me out there at quarterback for Michigan. They're probably going to beat us because Ryan Day can't do it. I'm over it.
Ryan Day
I
has
want to pick
not
Ohio
proven he
State
could
so
do it
bad, and
except
I just can't.
2019.
I can't bring myself. I have zero confidence that we're gonna win. I'm gonna be betting on Michigan. I'm gonna put money on Michigan. I have zero confidence. Not. I've never had in my 24 years of life. I've never had this little confidence in an Ohio State football game. I've never thought we were going to lose more than I do right now in my life.
I can't pick Michigan. I mean, I can't pick Ohio State because they have not beaten Michigan the last 5 years. Period. 4 years. Pardon me. 4 years.
They ducked us in
2021.
2020. Don't
They
forget.
have not.
They ducked us.
I don't care.
He
They
had
have
COVID.
not.
I don't care.
They I get it. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying since 2021, the rivalry has gone the Wolverines' way. It's their rivalry right now. Ohio State has to go and take it from them. And I want to talk about Matt Patricia, as I said. Matt Patricia was head coach of the Detroit Lions. He didn't do a very good job there.
We didn't.
People in Michigan aren't fans of Matt Patricia.
Ooh,
Matt Patricia probably isn't a fan of people in Michigan either.
I like this. I like this.
So,
Rile him up!
Patricia has the grudge. I think more than Ryan Day has the grudge. That's why I think if Matt Patricia could put a defense out there that holds Michigan down to 0, maybe 3 points, Ohio State does have a chance. They just got to score 2 field goals and a touchdown. I mean,
if Michigan scores 3 points, Ohio State will score 2. And we all know that that's going to happen.
And then that would be Matt Patricia's defense. So, yeah, but Matt Patricia, he's got the grudge against Michigan because I don't think they like him and he doesn't like them back. It was a disaster with the Lions. And I get that's pro football, but Matt Patricia here as a college defensive coordinator is doing a terrific job, okay? I like that aspect of it. I think Matt Patricia could be the key to the Ohio State Buckeyes if they win. They're not going to win, though, in my head because of Ryan Day. Ryan Day does not beat the team up north. And with all the great things Ryan Day has done for Ohio State,
this man is a national championship. This is the national championship winning head coach. And we just don't.
And they're possibly on their way to a second one, even
right. And that's the frustrating part is we still don't believe in him, and he's won the national championship. He's won the biggest game that you can win.
We don't believe in him to beat this one team. It's not that we don't believe in him to win a title.
The only team on the schedule that I care about beating.
The only team that probably almost every Ohio State fan, and not just the state of Ohio, but the entire country cares about. It's this game. Michigan, they only care about this game. And Michigan, they're in the rankings. They're making somewhat of a push, but I don't think anyone's taking them that seriously. We know they lost to USC, and we know they lost to Oklahoma. They
should have lost to Northwestern, too.
They almost lost to Northwestern. Yes. So Michigan is clearly vulnerable. We know they're not that good. We know it. Ohio State, we know on paper, is way better. Last year, it was the same way. 13-10, Michigan won it. Ryan Day needs to let Michigan get out of his head, coach football like you coach against every other team the last 11 weeks, coach like you did Oregon in the postseason. That's what I want to say.
Somebody just
coach like you did against Texas. And
we have to
was the story there too.
We have to tell Ryan Day that this is a different team. We have to tell him. Somebody has to tell, like, Mrs. Day.
Or Purdue. You're playing Purdue on Sunday.
Hey, buddy, this isn't Michigan.
Okay,
just pretend like you're playing.
You're playing Indiana.
Like you're playing Purdue.
You're playing Indiana. You're playing Indiana.
Pretend like you're playing literally anybody else.
And here's the other thing, and this is with all due respect to Ohio State fans. I don't want to keep hearing that oh, we haven't seen the whole bag of tricks yet. You're probably right, but like, please. Last year, what was the bag of tricks in a 13 to 10 game? What was the bag of tricks?
It
There
was
was
all
no
bad.
bag of tricks. What's the bag of tricks against Michigan going to be this year? If you lose to Michigan, everyone's going to be upset in Ohio State Nation and Buckeye Nation, where everyone's going to be upset because it's the game of games. It doesn't matter what you do in the postseason. I mean, yeah, it does, but still,
It
like,
does.
think about that with a loss to Michigan. And Michigan, everyone in Ann Arbor is laughing hysterically right now because they know they got you last year, even with your national title.
Yeah,
You
you know how
gotta
good
go
it would
out
feel to
there.
have a national title and a win over Michigan in the same year? It would be like cloud
Gotta go
flipping
out there
nine.
and win. What was that?
I said it would. You know what it would be like to have a win against Michigan and a national championship? It would be
But
cloud flipping nine, cloud nine, both in the
yeah,
same season.
and it hasn't happened since 2014. Ryan Day, do us all a favor. Beat Michigan this week. And
I have
if
one
you can't do
question.
it, let Matt Patricia do it.
I have one
Because I feel
question.
like Matt Patricia will do it. I just do. And I'm not saying like from a head coaching perspective, just let Matt Patricia run the game with the defense. Let Caleb Downs and those guys take care of business. Let
One
Jeremiah
question.
Smith and Julian Sayin go out there and make some fantastic plays, okay? Let's let loose and win this game for Buckeye Nation. I want Buckeye Nation to be cheering like mad to end this 4-year drought of pain. I have had 20 years of my life of nothing but glorious wins, primarily against Michigan. I have never felt this before where it's 4 straight losses to them. Go out there and win this game, please. Just please win this game. Please. And that's all I have to say.
I have one question for you.
Yes, what's the
Are
question?
you in or out on Matt Patricia's beard?
I mean, he had a bigger beard in Detroit.
Right. Like, do you think he just needs to go no beard? Does she need to go big beard? Where do we like?
I
Because I
mean,
think if he
I feel like he's coaching better with less of a beard.
just in terms of like the pencil thing and his beard is just weird. I love him though. I think he's great. I just think he's a funny guy.
I love him in Columbus. If he could be our defensive coordinator forever, that'd be great.
Lifetime beat Michigan and you can have a blank check, homie.
And if the defense is the reason we beat Michigan, I think Matt Patricia is going to deserve all the praise, to be quite honest with you, and Caleb Downs and whatever the defense does. But do us all a favor.
Oh, I have one more thing.
Yeah,
Score prediction.
Michigan 24, Ohio State 21.
Okay, I was gonna go 17-14, Michigan.
Actually, you know what? My score is a little too high. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna change my score prediction. I'm gonna go 16 to 13. I'm
Okay,
gonna go 3 extra points from last year.
seventeen
Michigan
to
doesn't
14.
win it on a game-winning field goal. Ohio State comes back and scores that game-winning field
I'll
goal
go
and takes the lead.
21-14. I'll give him 3 touchdowns.
Okay. We
21-13.
can't even debate the score right, but we're taking Michigan, both.
21-13,
We're
Michigan.
taking Michigan to win the game. We're not rooting for Michigan whatsoever.
Well,
Beat Michigan. Do us the favor, Ohio State. Please. Please do it. Please. And that's it for Raw Takes and Co. That's it for Raw Takes and Co. And also, we want to give a shout out to someone who commented on our video before we end the show. Actually, he didn't comment on our video. He commented on our reel on YouTube. Jake. Well, Jake's end comment on going to Taylor Swift's wedding over the Kansas City Chiefs making the playoffs was kind of what we highlighted in that reel. But we want to
which
give a shout out to Mark Peterson 8731. When you drop that amount of money on a contract for one player, it takes a toll later down the road when contracts expire and can't be renewed because of salary caps. Start losing your quality players and are hindered from signing other players. Baltimore has the same problem. So that was his response to our Chiefs Broncos reel after the Chiefs lost to the Broncos.
this
And
is definitely not as talented of a Chiefs team as we're used to seeing. So I think that's a good point.
we want to give you a
Thank you,
thank you for
Mark.
the comment. So, Mark, appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right. That's it for Raw Takes and Co. Hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving. Gobble, gobble. Enjoy the games on Thursday. Enjoy the rivalry games on Saturday. College football getting down to the
Watch college
wire.
basketball. It's feast week.
What?
I said watch college basketball this week. It's feast week. The
All
best
right.
thing before March.
Gobble, gobble, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll be back. Matthias will be back with us next week as well. Take it easy.